Welcome back to what Arty Noobs for Channel Disturbance. This is the T40, the Tier 4 American tank destroyer. It's located on the north spawn of Siegfried Line and it's under the command of ProvoBob, and we're continuing our series of replays of him in the T40 having some fun. Now he's armed with the 76mm gun, which is a Tier 6 gun in a Tier 4 tank destroyer, capable of 115 alpha, penetrating 128mm of armor with standard AP rather, and with APCR that goes up to 177mm. So there's not many tanks on the battlefield that he can't pen, even the higher tier ones. Now, as I said before in previous replays, the T40 never got put into production. They did place an order for 1,000 of these, but it was cancelled because they considered the T40 did not fit the bill for an ambush predator tank destroyer. Well, as you can see, he's gone up onto the hill overlooking the north side of the town. From this position he can see out to the east or to the west, as well as directly into the town square, and he's been joined by a Stug with a dirt gun. Okay, the enemy's come into the town, but nothing he can shoot at just yet. Now this tank destroyer does actually have other guns. In fact, some of the other guns are quite interesting. It can carry the 105mm gun, which is a dirt gun with a very high arc, only fires HE and heat, and that one is a great ambush predator. It can also carry the 75mm gun, which is the same gun that the original M4s were armed with, and the 57mm, which of course is the same gun carried over from the M8A1, and of course the gun that it was fitted with, but this tank doesn't actually have, is the 3-inch anti-tank, the M1918, and that was the gun that the US Army tested this vehicle with back in 1941. In fact, that was during the summer of 1941, before Pearl Harbor, and it was rejected at that time as the T24, but they modified it a bit, made it slightly lower, kept the same gun and sent it back to Aberdeen. Oh, target gets the shot into the Valentine, easily penetrate the side of a Valentine. I mean, obviously the gun shield on the Valentine is easy to pen, but with this gun you could easily go straight through the sides of the vehicle, even on the frontal armor, the heaviest armor on a Valentine tank. They sent the T40, or they sent the test vehicle back to the Army as a T40, not as the T24 anymore. And the Army accepted it. They said, okay, yeah, we'll have 1,000 of them. But that was because they were arming for after Pearl Harbor, and they needed any vehicle they could get their hands on to ensure that they had something to use against both the Germans and the Japanese. Of course, after testing, further testing, and other plans that they had in the works for different vehicles, they decided in the end they weren't going to buy the T40, and it was cancelled. There's an enemy tank out there in the field at Kehoe, and he's been joined by Stug 3B. But even at this long range, this gun is super accurate, very dangerous to the enemy. They're outside his render range at the moment, so I'm not sure. I think he's trying to fire. Oh, he did get a hit. He's firing via the minimap. He can't see the enemy because they're outside render range. If he moved forward, he probably would be able to see where they are. But now the Stugs come within render range again. In fact, there's another couple of enemy tanks nearby as well. A Panzer T15 and a Valentine 2. And they're just outside render range as well. But he's not going to deal with them. He's going to go into the town again. Now this gun is really more of a long range gun, and as the tank is very big. Oh, lovely shot on the T6 there. And he finishes him off with the next round. It looks like the T6 was looking at the T29 instead, and he missed out which was the more dangerous of the two opponents that he was facing. The tank destroyer that really he basically couldn't see very well was the one that was going to kill him. But this vehicle has got a very high profile, and always just saw a key knee there. A Japanese tank going for the DW2. Fires one in his rear, doesn't get it. This one he will get though. Easily pen the DW2 because it's thin armor. It just can't take this tier 6 gun, and he's lost the chance to get another shot in. But he did bounce around from the DW2, and that's surprising because the armor on this vehicle is absolutely atrocious. Now he probably doesn't want to stay here at this moment because that DW2 with the 5cm gun, well, he's sticking around, and I think he's been attracted by the possibility of taking down ProvoBob. M15, Italian medium, and now they've got 2 enemy tanks hitting him at the same time. He needs to keep firing and retreat as fast as he can because otherwise he is in danger. He's still firing on the M15 and gets the kill. I think the DW2 may have been put off by the fact that Type 95 and our team was just alongside us, and he probably thought, nah, I don't want to take on 2 tanks at once. There's also a Valentine off to our right, but he's in the dip there, so he can't help. Okay, there's the DW2. He's popped out again. ProvoBob missed the chance to get his shot in. I wouldn't go down that road if I was you. Don't go down there. No, don't go down there. And oh, missed the chance to get the Keeney, who went straight through the field of fire. But he's now got another shot on the BT5, and he kills him with 1 shot. Keeney makes a mistake of coming around the corner. He can now shoot underneath that vehicle, but instead he goes to the Keeney directly on. He tracks the guy. Oh, that one didn't go in. That did. That one finishes him off. The DW2 is a glutton for punishment. He's still in the vicinity, but he's gone outside the city gates. ProvoBob's now got 4 kills, but he's only 3 left on his team. Going for the M5 Stuart. Oh, he's trying to use the bush mechanic on this guy, but of course the M5 can actually know where he is. Does know where he is, even though he's firing blind. He's killed the M5. That's his 5th kill. The Hetzer with the derp gun just fired into the bunker. Now 1 more shot should be enough to kill the Hetzer. Oh, he takes him around but goes for the lower plate. Finishes off the Hetzer. That's his top gun. So the score's now 3 versus 4. That DW2 is a 1 shot. He could get that guy, but the Valentine's going for him. ProvoBob's only got 92 hit points left. It doesn't make him vulnerable to the DW2 just yet, but oh, careful, 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 careful. Oh, went past that gap and in the end drove into the bunker there, the supports. Turns around and finish him. Oh, he misses. This time he gets it. Yeah, no problem. That was very close, but he's now facing a Valentine. He has to go to cover. That Valentine is very dangerous, but he can penetrate it frontally. Of course, he's got another Valentine 2 on his team ahead of him. My advice here would be to pull back from that Valentine. He's just too dangerous. If he decided to go for ProvoBob, ProvoBob would be out the game with just 1 shot. He's only got 42 hit points now, so he's incredibly vulnerable to an ambush. But he's pushing ahead, even though there's 2 enemies just outside the gates. A Panzer T15 with quite a lot of hit points. Oh, you don't want to tangle with somebody who's got a lot to trade. And he does. Oh, this could be bad. Yeah. Bad decision, I'm afraid, there. He shouldn't have tried to trade shots with that Panzer T15. He had too many hit points still available. So he did get 7 kills. But which means he's got a top gun, but now he's yeah, out the game, and there's only 1 left on his team. It's Marder 38T, and we're not flipping over to see him just yet, but hopefully ProvoBob will switch over to the Marder so we can see what he's doing. He's about to take out a Type 91. Okay, so he's killed the Type 91. It's 1 versus 2 now. Marder 38T is heading south towards the enemy cap area. Now, the Marder 38T is a tank destroyer based on the Panzer 38T light tank, and it's got a lovely gun. I think it's the T40 gun actually on it, which is quite powerful. If I remember correctly, it's a 75mm gun with a lot of pen. And that T15 up ahead, he's got 139 hit points, so take 2 shots to take him down. But there's no way his armor will protect him, that Panzer T15. He would easily be wiped out by a Marder. ProvoBob saying go to capture the base. And it looks like the Marder's taken the hint and is going to do so, put pressure on the enemy. I get the feeling the Valentine 2's headed for our cap at this moment. Yep, that's what ProvoBob's indicating as well. He thinks that's where the Valentine's gone. The Panzer T25 stayed behind to get a reset if he needs to. So what the Marder needs to do at this moment is try and set up an ambush, preferably on that bush up there, but he's actually chosen to go to this one instead. Yep, there's the Valentine capping. And there's a big enough difference that they could win this. So long as the Panzer T15 does not get a reset. If he does get a reset, it's all over and they've lost. If the Panzer T15 goes to our cap and helps the enemy Valentine, then we've lost as well. So all we can hope is that the Panzer T15 tries to come back for a reset and the Marder kills him. Now, is he well enough inside that bush? Well, the front of the vehicle is sticking outside the bush, which would tend to indicate that he would be seen. But, well, we've seen bush mechanics, very odd bush mechanics from people like Steve Walsh, who've shown that you don't really have to be in the bush to be concealed by it. So long as the reference points are within the bush or just within the confines of the bush or thereabouts, you are concealed. And that there is a bit of bush pointing out from the front of that Marder. And it looks like the Panzer T15 is not going to come back. And we will win in 10 seconds if that is the case, because the enemy will not be able to cap out in time. And it's all going to be settled by capping. That's it. And the clock stops now with 1 second left. And the enemy loses, and they must have realised that, surely. What a mistake to make. They should have gone for the reset. They would have won the game. So, it's a victory for ProvoBob. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And it's an ace tanker for ProvoBob in the T40. He managed to get a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a 5 for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this battle. He managed to get 8. He got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and he got a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. He ended up with 7. But of course you can't get a Radley's at tier 4, and so even if he got another kill, it wouldn't have made any difference to actually getting any medals. But he got a win rate of 11,262, which is actually fairly close to the value he had the last time, which shows he is very consistent with this tank destroyer. If we look at the team score, we can see that he did get the highest damage with 1,865 hit points. Not as much as he got in the last game, but it's still a lot. And the next high scorer was the M5 Stuart on his team, or on the enemy team rather, with 1,206 hit points of damage, and that guy got a Confederate. And then the Marder 38T on his team managed to get the Invader medal and 1,186 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, it was ProvoBob with 7 kills, 3 kills to the Marder 38T, and also to the Valentine 2, 2 kills to the M5 Stuart, the Stug, the Hetzer, the T6 Medium, and nobody on the enemy team, on his own team, managed to get more than 1 kill except the Marder and ProvoBob. When it came to base XP, he's got the top on that one as well, so he's got the top in all 3 columns. 978 base for ProvoBob, enough for an ace tanker, 641 for the Gross Tractor, and 600 for the Valentine 2 on his team. You can see it was another reduced numbers game with lots of bots. He fired 35 rounds in that game, got 23 direct hits, 19 penetrations. Less accuracy on this one. He was getting quite a few wild shots and shots that weren't going where they were supposed to go, and that's why he suffered quite a lot of damage. 19 penetrations. Again, this time round he was using more AP and less APCR, and it did have an effect in terms of credits he earned, as you'll see later. 1,865 hit points of damage, all of it done at close range. 13 hits received from the enemy, 6 penetrations, 6 non-penetrations, and 1 hit by way of splash damage. Well, he was quite lucky on some of those shots. Some of those enemy shots did not pen him, and they should have, because it's a very big tank destroyer. It's very easy to hit. He blocked damage of 455 hit points, spotted 2 enemy vehicles, damaged 10 of the enemy, killed 7, and he earned 25,901 credits on a premium account, and after ammunition resupply and repair, he made a profit of 21,416 credits. You can see his ammunition costs were much less in the previous game, because I think there were over 20,000 credits on the previous game, because he fired a lot of APCR right towards the end of the game, but he's decreased the amount of APCR he carries, increased the amount of AP, and it's having the positive effect of actually giving him good results. 1,467 XP, and no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he took away, but a pretty good game for his second one in the T40 in this series. Another win, and just goes to show that he's getting better and better results by making slight adjustments to how he plays it. But again, it is still basically a long-range sniper with the 76mm gun, and I think he would be better off staying at a distance to shoot at the enemy rather than getting in their face, because this thing doesn't have much in the way of armour, and if you do get in the face of the enemy, they will take you down. He did die in this one, he didn't die in the last battle. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.